Hi, Mbak Dini.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for joining tonight.
Okay.
Actually, where are you came from? I mean, the city
I
you
come
work.
from Sampit.
Sampit.
Yes.
Oh, I have friend there.
Oh, who is that?
Yeah, you should know Joe.
Joe?
Yeah, Muadin.
Oh, Mr. Muadin.
Yeah, Joe. We call him
okay.
Joe.
Oh, people call him Joe. I don't know because I usually
Yeah,
call him
like
Mr. Muadin.
like Mr. Wu.
Who?
Mr. Wu. You say Muadin.
Muadin. Yeah, Mr. Muaz.
Oh, Mr. Muaz. Oh,
Yeah.
I see. He's changing, right? Tell
Yeah.
him they're not changing in my eyes.
Oh, he's a funny person actually.
He have to be fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
So talkative too.
Yeah, I've came from the same district in
Oh.
Makassar. Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
he came from Makale, Toraja.
Oh. Oh, I know it from the accent.
Yeah, of course.
So
He's
much Makassar.
so much Sulawesi in himself. Ask him to join here.
Oh, or I'll ask him. Cause I didn't meet him yet. I guess he live on what is it? Chuti in English? I don't know.
Okay. Just send my best to him once you meet
Okay.
him.
Uh, it seems like Mr. Dian is here too.
Yeah, the honorable host.
Oh yeah, the honorable host.
Your Highness. Hello, Mr. Dian.
The Almighty.
Yeah. Yeah, he is inviting his friend back here.
Yeah. I guess I came too early.
Yeah, actually, if you, Mbak Dini, if you you have friends, you can invite to join here as a speaker or even as the participants. We are welcoming them.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as we speak English, yeah, no, it doesn't matter.
Yes. Okay, I will find and invite one of my friends if they want.
At the first place, you don't need to find anyone. Just you. You can be yourself.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but you can find some topics. Maybe you join us late, right? Because a couple weeks ago, me and Irsanti have held some like movie review. So we watch
really?
movie. Yeah,
Oh, that's very interesting. I love movie. But I'm late.
we, uh, we separate we just discussed it.
Oh, okay. Discussing about movie and kids
the
drama
tenses,
maybe
the
sometimes.
phrasing technique. Yeah, it sounds good. In Riacha. Hello.
Indriyacha.
Riacha is still with us.
She is my sister, Mazaldi.
Oh, okay, okay.
She wants to join.
Welcome, Riacha. You're very welcome here. You are also welcome to speak at any time you want. I will ask some friends to join. Wait.
Like trouble breaking into your heart like that. Cool shade stunner. Break it down. Ooh, when I look in the mirror, I'm not too hard to do. I got the superstar glow, so do the boogie line. A side step right left with my beat. I like the moon rock with me, baby. Know that I got that heat. Let me show you 'cause talking shit. Side step right left to my beat. Get it, let it roll. Smooth like butter. Pour you in like no other. Don't need no usher to remind me you got it bad. Ain't no other that could sweep you up like a rubber. Straight up, I gotcha. Making you fall like that. Break it down. Ooh, when I look in the mirror, I'm at your heart into two. I got the superstar glow, so ooh. To the boogie line. Side step right left to my beat. I like the moon rock with me, baby. Know that I got that heat. Let me show you 'cause talk is cheap. A side step right left to my beat. Get it, let it roll. Get it, let it roll. Get it, let it roll. Eyes on my wrist, I'm the nice guy. Got the right body and the right mind. Rolling up the party, got the right vibes. Move like haters. Fresh boy, pull up and we lay low. All the players get moving with the bass low. Got army right behind us when we say so. Let's go. Side step right left to my beat. I like the moon rock with me, baby. Know that I got that heat. Let me show you 'cause talk is cheap. Side step right left to my beat. Get it, let it roll. Smooth like cool shade, and you know we don't stop. High like ain't no. You been like, oh my god. We gon' make the rock in his head. We gon' make it bounce in his head. Hotter, sweeter, cooler, butter. Get it, let it roll.
Hello, everyone. We can make small opening here by say hello to some of you. Mr. Rian Hermana. How are you, sir? You are...
Hello, Mr. Zaldi. Long time no
Hi.
see.
Long time no see. Very pleased to see you come back.
Yeah, thank you. After such a long week, not
Yeah.
joining this group. Finally, today I can join it again.
Yeah, we were missing you.
So do I.
Yeah, welcome, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Zaldi.
Yeah. We have what? Berdan Yildirim. Hi.
Hello. Hey, what's
Hi,
up?
how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. I'm a friend of Trying.
Yeah, yeah. Where are you from?
I'm from Turkey.
Oh, welcome. Yeah, I'm assume that this is your first time to join us.
Yeah, it's my first time here.
Yeah, so welcome to the club.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Also, we have this is the royal member, Mastrian. You can open your camera. Hi, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. Thank you. I'm so excited for this one because I think we need this topic though.
Yeah. Last week we have a quite amazing meeting. So
Yeah.
to follow up the question you asked, because people like how to travel around the world without money. So
Yeah, that's true. That's what we need.
yeah, we need to find out how it's,
Yeah.
how he did that. Very curious.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mastrian. I hope you enjoy.
You too.
Okay, we have Nancy. Can you open or turning? Nancy is still with us. Okay, maybe there is some trouble. Okay, Nancy, welcome. Oh, wow. So we have the speaker tonight. Welcome, Jojo.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm very well. Quite excited to be back in front of an audience to share all the contents I have to share. It'll be very, very full of contents, full of stories, and I'll be happy to have a debate on those thoughts that I'll bring to you.
Okay. We are very. I hope you enjoy as much as we do. And maybe I would like to give it to the host tonight, Mr. Dian. Shall we start?
Okay, we start now, Mas Zaldi.
Maybe we wait for another 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, so let me maybe greet some people here, join here, because we not only have the Duta BPJS Kesehatan here, but also international friends come here. I see Berdan Yili Dream. Yeah,
Yes, hello. How's it
hello,
going?
hello Berdan. Where do you come from?
From Turkey.
Oh, from Turkey. Nasılsın?
İyiyim, teşekkür ederim. Sen nasılsın?
Teşekkürler. I only can say that in Turkey.
It's fine, it's great. Your pronunciation is great.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy this meeting. Okay, and also we have some of Duta BPJS Kesehatan here. My friends from virtual choir, Mbak Vika, Mas Miftah. How are you guys? Okay, unreachable. No problem. And also I have my mom here watching here.
All right.
Yeah, there's my mom, but she cannot speak English. Mak, masuk TV, Mak. Okay, Mas Zaldi, could we start now?
Anytime, sir. Please.
Okay. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much. You can join this meeting. It's maybe informal meeting. We can share everything here. You can ask everything here. So the topic today is very, very interesting. But I could see it's crazy because it's not only a usual traveling, but it's a very crazy traveling. So 16,359 kilometers of generosity, a trip from Beijing to Paris without money. Without money. Okay. So maybe it sounds like very weird, but our speaker here will tell you everything. So not only how to travel from Beijing to Paris without money, but he will tell all about the journey. So he will maybe he will share everything, so we can see the journey, and then we can feel his journey in this presentation. And then his name is Geoffrey Roy. He is a French journalist and eco-adventurer. Hello, Geoffrey.
Hello.
Bonsoir. In Indonesia, bonsoir, but maybe in you it's bonjour.
It's bonjour. But I have to
Okay.
share one thing, is that just to hear you mention this journey, it brings me back some very, very deep emotions. I have to say that this experience was the most intense of my life. Intense in terms of what I've lived, but also in terms of the intensity. It was so deep, and only the thought of it is intense. So I'm very happy to share this, because I know how uncommon it is, the thought of experimenting a time without this connection that we all have to money, which is how the system works. So I've prepared a few slides that will guide a little bit this presentation. It will be a mix of a little bit of introduction of who I am and how I came to this idea, who I became to come to this idea. And there will be quite a few thoughts on the relation to life and traveling. And there will be a lot of pictures. So there will be a moment where it'll be a kind of immersion into the things I've lived through the images I've done, because I'm a photographer. So I express and provoke emotions through images. And in this journey, there's been a lot of images. So maybe
can wait for the presentation, but hold on. I just want to tell everybody here that we live in YouTube also, and also if everybody wants to ask, maybe we will have about 30 minutes in the end of the presentation to like maybe a question and answer. Everybody can ask in English or maybe in Indonesia. Buat yang masih bahasa Inggrisnya terbata-bata atau tidak berani pakai bahasa Inggris, sedikit-sedikit gado-gado juga nggak apa-apa. Jadi langsung tanya aja gitu ya. Geoffrey bakal membalas, akan menjawab pertanyaannya, dan mungkin aku juga akan bantu buat menanyakan ke Geoffrey seperti itu ya. Dia lagi live di salah satu warnet di Paris ini ya. Jadi jauh-jauh live dari Paris cuma buat mau presentasi gitu ya. So I tell the people who cannot speak English and just to be brave to speak English here, and maybe I will help them to ask to you. Okay, so maybe we can.
I'll make the effort of trying to speak slowly and in a clear way, and also don't hesitate to, if you don't want to cut the flow of me speaking, to take notes, because there will be a lot of content, there will be a lot of thoughts coming to you. So take notes and then bring back the questions after, or you can send me messages after, either on social networks or by direct message, so that we can continue our conversation maybe after the presentation.
Okay, perfect. It will be easier. Mr. Zaldi, could you please help me to open the presentation, please?
Or maybe I can open it here, but okay. So yeah, well, this is me in the middle of the desert, halfway across that journey. And I had already done almost 6,000 kilometers. I had crossed all China and Kazakhstan, and I had the Caspian Sea in front of me. And I had 1 month left to reach my destination. So you pass the slide. Maybe it'd be easier if I had the control of the slides, but that's okay.
Okay, but maybe we will make you a co-host, so it will be easier, I think. Okay, yes.
Okay, I can share my screen now. Okay, let's go. And all right, can you see now? And slide here. Okay, let's go. So there will be a little presentation. I'll share the journey, the travel lessons. There'll be a little conclusion of all of this, and then we'll have the questions, the dialogue. So this is me. My name is Geoffrey, and I like to present myself as a human, simply because we're all human, and that's the basis. And I don't like too much to put ourselves into a box. I am this or that. No, we are all human, and I'm one of them. We are part of this great family. This is how you can contact me on social networks. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Lately, I'm a bit more active on Instagram with few stories. And trust me that in my near future, there will be a lot of more intense stories to happen, but I won't share everything today. You'll have the surprise. Okay, next. So this is where I grew up, in the middle west of France. We have a bit of a different context of life. I've been a little bit in Indonesia, so I know a little bit the difference we have. In France, I must say that I've been quite lucky. I've been quite lucky to have a place where even if I grew up in a kind of middle class social background, I never needed anything. I've always had food in my plate. I've had access to education and a certain freedom of speech, but still, like in every place, some limitations. And inside of me, I've always wanted more freedom of everything. But this came through time. This is kind of the place where I grew up. For you to understand the context, it's a countryside, it's a national park where I used to be a guide. I used to take people to visit this place. We have these tiny rivers. It's very green. It's very peaceful. So I grew up in a very peaceful, green environment. Very little concrete city life. Sometimes it's a bit slow to pass the slides. My first connection to my first very big changes in my life started when I was 13 years old. I did an exchange with Germany, a school exchange with the kids of Germany. That's when I realized how there were amazing people all around the world. And then I realized that there was one tool that allowed me to communicate with all these amazing people around the world. It's English. So from 13 years old, I realized how important it is to speak English. And then I studied 3 years in England, web development, how to make websites. And after this, I came back to France. I had the experience of living 3 years abroad. And then I could see my country from my outside. I could see the good and the bad from my country, seeing the good and the bad of another country. So this already gave me some perspective. And after this, I thought, well, should I look for a job in France or should I look for a job in England? And that's when I thought, well, England, I've already spent 3 years there, so I know it very well. Then France, it's my home. I like to be outside from my home and see a different perspective. That's when I decided to start traveling. I had this courage because also I didn't have too much this problem of money because I was a web developer. So I could only use my laptop, and anywhere I would be, I could work online, make a website, make a little more money and continue my journey. And that's when I decided to travel around Europe so that it would be easy for me, because as a European, we have access to all the countries open without any visa or a situation like this. And that's when it all started in terms of my life as a traveler. I discovered two main tools. The main one is called Couchsurfing. It's an international social network of hospitality. It's a place where online you can make friends. You can, when you are home, you can welcome people in your home, which makes you travel through the people that you welcome inside of your home, because they come from abroad, and then you see your city through the eyes of someone else. And it's always a pleasure. And then when you go abroad, you are hosted by other people, and this gives purpose to your travel, because you don't go to a place to visit a place, you go anywhere to meet people, and you meet all sorts of people, all sorts of people, all sorts of social background, all sorts of culture. And it's what actually gave purpose to my life. I decided where I can go anywhere so that I can meet people and make kind of bridges between culture, connections. So this is how it works. We have a profile. You share a little bit about your story, because the idea is really to connect with people. So you have to share, to tell who you are, so that people have an interest to know you, and you have to show others that you have interest in others. The thing, and very big thing I discovered, it's called active hitchhiking. So hitchhiking is the concept of asking someone else for a ride. The active hitchhiking, instead of waiting by the side of the road, you go usually to the gas station or service stations where people, they stop to put some gas, to have a coffee or something like this. And you go directly, say hello to people. Just say hello, give a smile, and you ask, are you going in that direction? And then this way, it gives you more time to really connect with the people and make this connection and have more trust. And you can also choose the people with whom you're going to ride. This is a huge advantage, especially for the security, of girls who want to travel. Because if you want to avoid men, you can just ask the women. That's one of the huge advantage. And you can also feel the people. When you see very nice looking people, you go directly to them. When you see people where you don't have a very good energy, you can leave them, have a good day. And also you start experimenting the people refusing. And that's part of life. So that's when I came back from this first journey. I became a traveler. I had this inside of me. I understood it's kind of a function. It's a role to be moving around to connect with people. So this already started to, bring some thoughts inside of me, the belief in the beauty of humanity, which is very important, because a lot of time we see on the medias how much the world is bad, and this creates distance between us. And I through what I lived, I realized how the inside of us is very positive. I saw how much the sharing is caring. This development of the instinct and the respect we have to each other, and how we can develop the relation to the fears inside of us. The idea also of trusting and this being spontaneous in your life, and accepting the things that come to you. And this gives a kind of a very incredible dynamic that it's hard to explain. And then there is this thirst for adventure. The adventure where it's what is very important is the thing of going out of your comfort zone. The comfort zone is a concept that is very important. The comfort zone is the things that are inside of your knowledge, the things that you know. And usually it's when you go out of this that you grow. So the more you start going inside of your comfort zone, the more you will grow as a person. Okay. So that was a start. Started to discover what it is to be a traveler, to be an adventurer, to embrace it, and to share it with people. To understand how the wealth of the humanity is its diversity, and how much we have to connect between the different worlds, because this gives us more perspective. And also we have the things that we grow up usually in a kind of a social background. We have now also the social networks that kind of isolate us inside the same thoughts. So this connecting to other people expands who you are. And then the miracle is kind of the first and biggest lesson of all my life, is to realize that there is one miracle in the whole world. It's the miracle of life. The fact that we have our heart beating now, it's not something basic. It is something exceptional. There are children born, all nature growing, all of this. Every instant is very precious, and we have to, embrace this and see it every day. That it's a miracle. It's a pleasure to be here talking with you, connecting with you every instant, living in the present. Another thing that I learned from all these connections is that there is a sad reality, is that we are entering in the 16th edition of life on Earth. So our future may be very dark due to the global warming and crisis in different places of the world. So we are entering in a new phase of humanity, and there will be a lot of change, and we'll have to adapt to all these changes. And it's very stimulating because we will have to learn a lot of new things so that we can face all these changes. One of the big change of my life. So here I left aside a little bit a part where after this journey around Europe, I met a girl who really opened my eyes to a lot of things, like the situation around the GMOs, seeds, the agriculture, the petrol, the chemical, the pharmaceutical. She brought a lot of consciousness in my life of what is happening, and a lot of curiosity. And so after this, we traveled a long journey, all hitchhiking and couchsurfing all the way across Canada, down the west coast of the US, Mexico and Central America. All of this, 16 months of traveling, already a lot of adventures, a lot of experiences. Came back to France. I already started sharing these experiences by giving conferences in front of people. And after this, I was looking for a way to continue traveling, but live from my traveling, find a job that I can do anywhere in the world. And I wanted to continue traveling. And that's when I saw this movie, The Salt of the Earth, which is an incredible movie about Sebastião Salgado, which is one of the greatest photographers today of modern history. And this movie made me realize the function of the photographer, the fact that we need people around the world to show what is happening. And when I saw this, I decided I need to do this. And that's when I started to develop this capacity of a photographer, the eye, the sensibility, the professional side. And then I worked for 2 years, having a side job, having some photography projects to finance then a big journey of doing documentary photography. I spent 6 months in India doing a documentary around agriculture and victims of pesticides. I spent 2 months in Nepal doing a documentary about street children, and 2 months as well in Indonesia doing a documentary about deforestation, the relation to palm oil, the palm oil industry, the impact that it has on the society, the impact that it has on indigenous people, and especially with the orangutans. And this was very, very intense. After this, I came back home. I did some conferences, and then happened something very, very, very sad, the toughest things of my life. I lost my bigger brother. So I don't know how to explain this, but I was lost. I was down a big hole, and nothing made sense of what was around me. And so I spent around 1 month. He had a motorbike accident. I spent 1 month a little bit lost. This is the place where he is. And after this time, I decided I should do something to occupy my mind. And that's when I decided I will look online what is the cheapest and furthest destination where I could go to be very, very far from my reality. And when I'm abroad in other context, I will be very stimulated. I'll be very curious of what is the life, and I'll start wanting to do documentaries. And so that's when I found a ticket very cheap for Beijing. And so I bought a ticket to Beijing without knowing what to do. And little after, I had the director of a festival of travel and photography who invited me to do a workshop with a great photographer 2 months after my arrival in Beijing. And I thought, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to stay in China, or am I going to go to Mongolia? And that's where I used Google Maps, and I looked at the map of the world. I saw China on one side, France on the other side, and then came the idea, I'm gonna do all of this without money. And that was very, very crazy inside my head, but I was very, very happy. I had like a volcano blast inside me, and I was like, whoa! I turned around myself, and I knew it was a good idea. I knew it was totally innocent. I had no idea of all the things that there are on this these countries. I had no idea, but inside of me, I had this kind of when I lost my brother, this kind of thing of losing someone, it kind of pushes a reset button of your life. It brings you back to all the things you've learned and you've lived in your life, and then it makes appear a list of all the things you want to do once in your life. And inside of this list, there was this idea of experimenting a moment without money, because I saw, here I explain the why. I saw some, there is this man, Pierre Rabhi. He's a philosopher, writer, and also organic farmer, who has a bit of his thoughts is around what we call the happy sobriety. Happy sobriety, the idea of being happy with less, and this necessity that all of us as a society, we need to go, because in the society where we live, of the extreme capitalism, where we have only as an example the capital growth without limits, of always growing, and exploiting all the wealth of our planet, the minerals, the forest, the people, the animals, to exploit all of this without limit on a planet that has limits. This makes no sense. And it's going to our end. So if we want to have a future, we have to slow down. And actually, by slowing down, by living with less, we live a happier life. We live a different connection to our relation to time. We have more time for ourselves. We have more time to live with our loved ones, to live experiences and to grow. So I wanted this for one reason. That's where I talk about it. And we see as the degrowth, but the degrowth is not so much a degrowth in terms of capacity. It's another vision of what is the growth. The growth more in a capacity for mutual support, for love, beauty, respect of life, development of species system, continuity, reduction of inequalities. So it's another model in terms of society. And then there are these two guys. They have a channel on YouTube, and they do videos where they start from one place naked, and they have nothing. And then they go and they find something to put around them. And then they go meet people, and they say, oh, do you have some clothes? And we are doing an adventure of experimenting time with nothing. And it's very, very beautiful just to see this, how there is a human connection with the people, how there is a real deep exchange with the people. So I decided once in my life, I have to experiment this. But then I decided to do it on a very, very long scale. So how? So first I had to look on the situation of visa. So here in red, for a French citizen, is the places where you need a visa in advance. In green, you don't need a visa. In orange, it's a visa online. And in blue, it's all open. So I realized, okay, China, I'll have to do a visa before. I'll go through Kazakhstan. Then I will have to cross the Caspian Sea, arrive at Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Turkey. And then I will cross all Europe. And that's when I did this map. So this map, I had it printed on an A4 paper inside a plastic sheet. And then I would present this to the people on my way. And behind this map, I would have a text in the local language. So before I arrive in a country, I find someone who speaks English and I ask to translate and to write in the local language a very simple text that says, hello, I am a French traveler doing a challenge of going from Beijing to Paris without money to witness generosity, humanity, and beauty. My needs are only the transport, a roof for the night, and a little bit of food. If you are happy to help me in anything, I will be most grateful. And only this, just look in the eyes, give a smile, and then let it flow. So that's how it started. So then comes the part, a little bit of the images. I shot everything in square format. So the square format is special. So here I will bring you a little bit of the emotions with the images and the story, and I'll leave you a little bit of time to observe and to feel. And the feeling with square is different than rectangular. The rectangular composition is weighted. We read the image from left to right and right to left. Whereas a square image, we read it as a circle. So it's more balanced. It gives a different feeling of the image. So that's why I decided, since I don't have too much experience in shooting square, I will do all this journey in square format and black and white, because black and white is deep and very graphical. I only had one lens. This means I only had a lens that sees a little bit wide. So if I wanted to do portraits, I had to get very close. And this will make the person who is watching the image feel very close, because I was actually very close. And this brings to me a kind of a necessity to be very transparent. So very soon started the deep lessons. The first lesson that I learned was what I call the overflow of generosity. The overflow of generosity is when people want to give too much. I wanted to do this whole journey without being a cost to anyone. I just wanted to enjoy, oh, there is a room in your car, or there is a little space in your house. There is some leftover food, and this was also part of the journey, to talk about how much we waste a lot of food, how much, and this is a very, very big problem in our society, how much we waste. And I wanted just to avoid this. And then there was this man in China who had no idea what it was to hitchhike. And he wanted to pay the train for me to go to the next place. And for me, there was no way. I say, no, no, no, I go hitchhiking, no problem, I will hitchhike. And he insisted. He insisted, yes, yes, yes. And I said, no, no, no, yes, yes, yes, no, no, no. So I had to learn to accept. When someone wants to give, it's because they really want to give. So it's important in life in general, when we feel that people want to give, to accept. But then there were people who wanted to give me money. And I said, no, no, no, money, I don't want money. And they said, yes, yes, yes, no, no, no, yes, yes, yes, no, no. And so I had to learn also to accept the money. But the money, I just kept it as an extreme emergency. At the back of my backpack, I had this money in case of extreme emergency, but I wanted to remain true to my challenge without money, because I'm a very determined person, and when I do a challenge, it's until the end. And then when I passed a border to another country, I would give back this money to people in real need of money. And that was one of the first real deep lessons. I learned the reality of what is poverty. I had a connection to what it is, but I didn't really live poverty because I had no money, but I wasn't poor because I chose to have no money. Whereas people who are in poverty, they don't choose it. They fall into it. They fall into it and they don't see the solutions. They don't see the way out. And then they enter into a very deep circle where they don't see the exit. And it's very, very hard for me. Whereas for me, to have no money, it was total freedom because I could see the solutions. I could see that anywhere I could go with my face, my smile, the energy I had, I would always find solutions. And maybe I would face some challenges, but I knew it would be okay. So that was the very first lesson. Then the second big lesson is the connection to hunger. Because like I said a little bit earlier, I never lacked food. I had food every day, even if sometimes it wasn't very good food, but I never felt hunger. And there I experimented maybe twice, a little bit more than 24 hours. Look at this. Very great pictures. I lived a little bit more than 24 hours without food. And this made me feel my energy and my mood going down. And also kind of feeling empty, not only from my body, but from my soul, from who I am. I felt like I was nothing because I had nothing in my belly. And just to feel this made me connect to the reality of the hundreds of thousands of people who live hunger every day, who have no food inside their plate, and they have no idea when they're going to have some food. And this is a real reality. And after this, when people would give me food, after spending a bit of time without food, it fell straight from the sky, deep in my heart. I had tears of gratitude to the people who gave me the food. It was very, very strong. And now, after living this, I have a very different relation to food. I have a lot of respect every time I have food in my plate, and every time I have a thought to the people who don't have this chance. And I think it's important to realize this. So here across all China, these images are a part of the region called Xinjiang, the northwest of China, which is a place that has huge control by the government. And I was tracked by the police every day. I spent between 15 to 8 hours per day with the police. Only one day I had no control with the police because I went up in the mountain. I did, this journey was a very, very long journey, very long distance, very short time. Usually I like to have time. It's very important, the relation to time, but here was a different experience. I had no time and I had to make long distances every time, and I had to adjust and control how much distance I had left, how much time I had. And very few times I decided, okay, today I take some rest. I'm gonna go up in the nature and connect to people and nature. This is a man I found up in the mountain, and I remembered how we kind of understood each other, even if we had no way of communicating. But actually, in terms of communication, almost 80% of our communication is what we call the non-verbal communication, through the eye, through the energy that we send, through the smile. This is one of the very few images of me. The idea on this journey and the work in terms of photography, I wanted to be not the subject of the journey. I took very few selfies. I took more images of the reality of what represented every country. I wanted to represent the soul, as you can see through the portraits and the landscapes that came to me, to show the how it feels. But this was one of those how to say? I said overflow of generosity. It's a man who offered me a night in the hotel. I slept in very different places. This was at the end of China. There was a wedding in a very special place of China. So here I reached the end of Xinjiang, and then I entered in Kazakhstan. So in Kazakhstan, I started to be not so much of a surprise, because in China, you don't see people white like me, whereas in Kazakhstan, they have a bit of influences from Russia. So they have white Caucasian male people. So I was not so much as a surprise, whereas in China, every time was a surprise. And many times, one thing that was incredible for me was this capacity that I had to bring light into people's faces. I could see a lot of people who had tough lives with a lot of work, and I could see the faces very sad. And just me looking at them, giving a smile and waving at them, I could see the faces lighting up. And to be able to do this for me was very important. So every day, all the time, I was smiling at people. I was waving at people. I was every person's friend. And here I arrived in a place, a man who had a camel place, and he welcomed me. And I had this scene of arriving during sunset with the camels in a very, very authentic scene. And this was in the sunrise in the morning with the kid drinking the milk from the camel. This is the men who are reading the text. This is my paper, the paper I told you in the earlier that I was using to communicate with people. And here they were reading the words in Kazakh language. So they were very happy to be able to have a connection with me through the fact that there was this foreigner from a different language, but here there was a text where they could understand a little bit what I was doing. And every time it was, oh my God, this guy is crazy. But there was some kind of a deep respect of the idea that it was a journey, a deep challenge, and very crazy. So it was, every time it was very interesting, the reaction of the people. Very close portrait of the horse. So every time you feel a little bit the mood of these images. This is the couple who hosted me with the family. Every time for me, there is a very deep emotion with these people, and I try to imagine how this feeling reflects in you who sees the images. This was a bit later in Kazakhstan also, a child who was an actress in a studio. So here I crossed a bit of Kazakhstan. As you can see, there's no way to cross directly inside Kazakhstan because it's all desert. And so I had to do a long way. It's almost 5,000 kilometers. It's a very, very long way of very few people passing through. So this is part of the culture of Kazakhstan. This as well, very symbolic. The Russian cars, the watermelon, it's very, very local. Very ancient mosque. Well, here we have a real connection of the pilgrim and this ancient site. This is traditional Russian car in Kazakhstan. So I got a ride on this car. And this is the view I had for a long time. Very long distance road, only desert, and always with the people and trying to communicate with the people. I either had my phone with a translator, and I used offline translator so that I could type some words of English and then be able to show the people the few things I wanted to express, because we spent a lot of time together on the road. There I got hosted inside a truck with this man. Actually, he was from Poland, and he gave me a ride, and I slept inside his truck for one night. Another day, they had a celebration of my non-birthday. Just the fact that I was here, they decided, oh, let's have a birthday cake and sing happy birthday. And this was the family in west of Kazakhstan. So this is the grandfather and his function with his grandsons. Every time I try to bring a kind of a historical mood to the images with the elements inside the image. Here we see the teenagers with the smartphones and the peaceful vibe. And the other generations, the older, and we try to imagine through the lines of their face where they come from, which history they have. Then I arrived at the Port Churik, which is the end of Kazakhstan, which is the place where I would look for, look for a boat to cross the ocean. And this is the very first and kind of only moment where I had my first failure of generosity. Here I had the challenge of touching the heart of the boat's captain. So I had to go to the boat's captain and say, hello, I'm doing this challenge, generosity and all. Would you let me on your boat? And he said, no way. You have no money. You don't come on the boat. And I explained everything. I told the story behind with my brother. I cried. I gave everything, but it didn't work. And then I was very sad. And after, I had to do what I didn't want to do. The next day, I had to ask for money. And there I realized a very big difference between just saying hello to people and asking little food, a place to sleep, a ride on a car, and asking for money. Then it turns into the more toxical side of the material world. And so this, for me and for the people, I really felt the difference, and it was very embarrassing. But at the end, I just explained, okay, a little bit. And I learned another lesson is that most times that we live a complicated situation, after this comes a good situation. So after living the worst thing of the journey, I lived one of the best things of the journey. I was welcomed by some workers of the port, and they took me on their 4x4 inside a place of desert, and then I saw the dunes, and I saw this, and I was like, oh, this is gonna make some very, very nice pictures. And we spent the night inside the desert, and then I woke up with the sunrise, and I thought, it's gonna go take pictures. And I don't know if you see what I'm seeing now, but this is kind of a very unique and very graphical image that makes the photographer behind the camera very happy. So this is where we slept, the camp we had just behind the dunes. So I spent 1 or 2 hours going up and down the dunes. And one other auto portraits where I saw my shadow. Oh, there is my shadow in the sand. And just behind, we can see also the Caspian Sea. So this was kind of the feeling, okay, in 1 month, I already managed to cross China, cross Kazakhstan. Now I have to cross the sea and half of the continent. Then I crossed the Caspian Sea. Here it was different because I kind of had a break from the life without money because I had paid for the crossing. So I was there as a client. I had a bed to sleep. I had food every day. It's part of the thing. So it was a different different connection. But still, it was interesting to see and continue kind of documenting with few images the uniqueness of this trip with the workers, because there was a ferry boat where they put trucks and few passengers. Usually it was mostly travelers. Many travelers were on bicycle. There are many people who do this part of a journey on bicycle. Coming back on a composition as a square photography, sometimes you see that the subject will be in the center. So we see a lot of lines coming to the center, and it makes this kind of balanced feeling. And sometimes the subject will be out of center to have another kind of balance. And then I arrived in Azerbaijan, and I remember how I had a funny feeling because I didn't know whether the challenge of no money would work, because I knew nothing of this journey, of this country. And then I started hitchhiking, and I was like, maybe it's not going to work, and I'm going to be in a very complicated situation. But then maybe only 5 minutes after, someone stopped and gave me a ride. So I knew it would work. And then I crossed another country. I met some incredible people. I spent some time in the capital where I was hosted by some people of Couchsurfing, this couple, incredible, very happy, very welcoming. Some crazy compositions inside the metro. And a little bit of the mood, getting back to the hitchhiking. This was the car that gave me a ride. And once again, life on the road. This is one of the places where I spend the night with these people, very simple people. This is a place where I spent one day of taking a break and to discover a small village and do my function as a photographer, to get close to people, to show this this uniqueness of this country. This is a very, you can see in the face, very typical from Azerbaijan. I like usually to take pictures of old people because they have this this trace of the time, this connection between the generation. Because I am 33 and I lived my generation, and these old men, they lived a different reality, and these children also, they live a different reality. But always, as I told you, since I take my pictures very close to the people, it makes you feel that you go inside of their soul. You feel very connected to who they are. This woman, I liked it very much. I was seeing her from quite far, taking pictures and getting closer and getting closer and getting closer. And this emotion of laughing, which is essential in life on the road. And I arrived in Georgia. Georgia, a country where I had a very good feeling because I heard so much. This is the border between Azerbaijan and Georgia. I heard so much about this country. I had some friends in this country. I knew that they had this culture of generosity, but actually it's also the first place where on the first night, I didn't find a place to stay. So it was a second failure of this journey. After this night, actually, where we celebrated and had fun and all, after they said, well, we have no place for you to stay. And so I was a bit sad because actually this thing of staying at someone's place, it's not so much someone opening the door to their house. It's more the door to the heart. And this is what is the purpose of this challenge, is to have heart opening their doors. And so one night where I didn't succeed in doing this, for me was disappointing and sad. But like I told you earlier, after a sad thing comes a beautiful thing. And so after spending a night where I found a shelter, The next day in the morning, I went to a restaurant. I explained my thing, and I wanted to ask if they had some waste food, and they actually served me a perfect breakfast. Very, very touching. Like I told you, every time I had people giving me food in this journey, it was so essential and very, very important and very touching. A lot of gratitude. And this is how I kind of discovered this kind of the thing that I call the force of the gratitude. How much that when you feel this, the other feels it, and there is a real production of something between two persons, that something that cannot be really materialized, but that is here and that is felt. This is kind of a symbol of Georgia. They are very known for the grapes and the wine. So I kind of took a picture of this symbol. There, I spent some time in a place where I did an exchange, where I worked in a place in exchange of of staying. And it was a very special place, a small village with a lot of history. And so this is a very typical, traditional place of typical people of Georgia. So this was the mood of the morning. I woke up. I have this thing, the photographer has this thing of having to wake up very early to chase what we call the golden light. The light, when it's on the horizon, either on the sunrise or the sunset, has something magical in terms of contrast, in terms of, I know it's the moment to take pictures. So I wake up early in the morning to chase these moments. And a very old woman. This was a special moment because the woman with the very big smile in the woman here, she is the sister of the champion of judo, and he was having a competition, and so they were very, very moved, and you can see this in the image. This is a man who was staying there, also watching the sunset like I was. And there I had a moment of connection with children at the moment of sunset. Very simple, but very important scene of life to me. The beauty, the innocence of the children. It's a very important expression. Look at this. The light in the eyes. And here you can see, actually, if you look in the eyes, you can see my shadow. And like I told you, I was very, very close to her. And this makes you be very close to them. Look at this. It's so precious. Look at them just playing. This man gave me watermelon. These girls, they were friends who had a rock band. And this is another funny connection. There was this woman, she was kind of shouting, yeah. I took a picture, and it's also very expressive. All sorts of reality. There, as an exchange, I cleaned the dishes in exchange of food. Going to a restaurant, I had to find all sorts of solutions to find food. And I arrived in Turkey. Turkey also was incredible. Turkey was the first time I had a ride by two women. The first ride I had was two women, and I told them, thank you very much. You are the very first women to give me a ride. And also it was an incredible connection. I crossed most of the country very quick. And then I spent some time in Istanbul. I spent a couple of days in Istanbul. Here, in terms of composition, I worked a little bit on the kind of thing around the money. And here it was, I kind of blurred the jewelries. This was a couple who gave me a ride and invited me to have lunch. And they were kind of, in the way they behaved with me, it was like they were my parents. And they were so kind and so... And here in this image, I kind of summarized who they are. This is a lunch with a truck driver, another reality. And so here we are in Turkey. This is a guy in Istanbul who hosted me very last minute. Istanbul has many cats, and so I took pictures of cats. They are everywhere, and people gave them food. I like this image as well. There was this girl who had this hoodie with a money thing. This again is around, yes, the cats. This is around the subject of consumption. Because I lived the life of no consumption or consuming less. Here we had a bit of a movement, an old man with a very funny texture. Lots of cats in Istanbul, yes. Here I introduced my host into the discipline of acro yoga, and she liked it very much. Oh, this is something very crazy, very crazy. So to cross Europe, it was very, very fast. At the border of Turkey with Europe, I found a car from France and I say, hello, are you going to France? Ah, me too. And I stopped in Germany because I still had a little bit of time. And there when I left from Munich, I was hitchhiking. And then there's a car that stops and tells me, are you Geoffrey? And then I stopped and I was like, how is it possible? I'm in the middle of nowhere. I know nobody. And this girl, she knows my name. And she was a girl who I had sent a message on Couchsurfing, and she couldn't host me, but she wanted to meet me. And there I was on her path inside a very, very big city. And she gave me a ride and she was incredible. This is one of the miracles that can happen. And this is when I arrived in my destination. So here was the end, the conclusion, 16,359 kilometers without money in my pockets, just a smile, my backpack, a camera, a sleeping bag, a mattress, and that's it. And look at this. I told you about this man before. Dream big, because dream do happen. He was actually in the city and I had the chance of meeting him. It was also on my list of things I wanted to realize once in my life. I wanted to meet this man. I had the chance of having a short conversation with him. And it was very, very crazy. Beautiful man, very simple. So the travel lessons, the relationship with the human, the relationship with nature, the self-experimentation, and dematerialization. Here we have a simple image, and we have a quote from a very famous song of Georges Brassens, who's a classical singer of France, very popular. It was just a little bread, but it had warmed my body, and in my soul it's still burning like a great feast. I'll do it in French for you. Ce n'était rien qu'un peu de pain, mais il m'avait chauffé le corps, et dans mon âme il brûle encore, à la manière d'un grand festin. This is very deep, and this is the reality that I lived. The very few times I had people giving me a piece of bread was so intense, and this was the same reality. This is when I crossed Romania. I went to a place. The man, he gave me a dinner and then he came and gave me this piece of bread and I cried. So this thing of connection with the human, the idea of smiling to life all time, being very positive in any situation, positive, even in the toughest things. People are living tougher situations, and it's the only way you get through things in life is by having hope, staying positive. And the idea of the altruism, the benevolence, the idea of doing the good to others will bring the good to you. And that's how the things work. Always positive. And this will bring you self-confidence. You will feel more confident. You will have more instinct. You will be more flexible in taking decisions and having this kind of external view. The auto experimentation is something that is essential in life, is to do experiences on yourself. You see something that you don't know, you start doing small things that are new to you, very small things, but still you experiment on a short term. And then after experimenting on yourself, you will be able to judge whether it's good or not. And it's by doing it to yourself that you learn. You learn from those experiences that you do. The dematerialization. We live in a very materialistic world. Instead, we can live from collecting memories, enrich ourselves of the history, the culture of others. Think about your inner well-being and not your material comfort. Very important. Everything is energy. The positive attracts the positive. A smile costs nothing, but is priceless. And this is kind of the philosophical part of this journey without money. It's living in the being and not the having. Who am I? Who is the other? What is inside of me? What is inside the other? And what are this wealth, this richness that we can share? It doesn't matter what I have. It doesn't matter what the other has. It is what I am and what is the other and what I am through the other. It is having nothing, but having the feeling of having everything because you don't need anything. And then in a society where we judge others by what they have, it's being nothing but having the feeling of being everything. And this is the difference with what I told you earlier about the connection with the poverty. The poor people, they are nothing and they are seen by others as nothing. So they see themselves as nothing through the others. So for them, it's very, very hard. But for me, when people, they saw me as nothing, I was just distant from this. And there's a spelling mistake. This is the two sides of the mind and the money and the body. On the mind side, it was a total freedom of my mind of having no money. But on my body side, it was a total dependence because I depended on others to get a ride, to get a place to stay, and to get a little food. And here's the little conclusion. There may be no answer to what is inner peace, happiness, and what gives meaning to our lives, but everyone has to come to terms with finding their own way. Travel and sobriety can be a solution for a good path. And this will be the end. A lot of gratitude. Thank you very much. Thanks to my family. This is one of the pictures of my family. They are always with me. And now let's go for your questions, your debates. It's open. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Jojo. It's a very long story and your shots is very incredible. Okay, maybe we will, we only have about 22 minutes, maybe for the question and answer. Anyone? Okay, Miss Yovita, Mbak Yovita. Your question, please.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Joe. I'm Yovita. Nice to know you. First of all, I just want to say sorry for your loss of your brother. I think what an amazing story you have and also beautiful pictures. It's really touching for me. I think you are such a lucky person, especially about hitchhiking. So can you tell us about some tips how to deal with a person that refuses you with hitchhiking thing? And then maybe, have you had bad experience? Had a bad experience about people do bad things to you, like maybe rob your money or something like that? Thank you.
So the first question you ask is
The tips, yeah.
The tips on hitchhiking, and when people they refuse to give me a ride.
Yeah,
When they refuse to give me a ride, they're just saying thank you. It's always thank you. If they cannot give me a ride, if they don't feel like giving me a ride, no problem. Thank you. There will be a next one. So always is to be grateful. Always is to be thankful. Then in terms of the fear and the bad things that happen, to me, nothing bad happened. And actually, when I told people that I had no money, that they had no reason to rob me. You know, and even if I met some people who may look like people with bad intentions, people with a ugly face, to me, I was, like I told you, I was smiling to everyone because I was disconnected to this reality, and I had just lost my brother, so nothing worse could happen. I was smiling to everyone. Everyone was my brother, and this was part of the thing. And then there is the fact that, I don't know, but I was in most places a foreigner, a white guy, and we have this kind of a thing that white guys around most places of the world are well respected. So I had no fear, and I didn't want to leave any fear inside of me or to show any fear. I just wanted to be very positive, smiling to people. I slept in some very weird places, but I didn't care. I had no problem. I knew I would survive. So I didn't live any in this whole journey of 16,000 kilometers. I never felt real danger, not at all. I never felt any aggression. But this is probably a lot of luck as well, because these things, they happen. They can happen anytime in your life. You don't know why, you don't know how, you don't provoke it, and it happens. So maybe the lesson on this is just to live in the present, accept, do your best, and not stop yourself from doing things just out of fears.
Yes, yeah, maybe it's hitchhiking is not familiar in Indonesia, I think. So, Geoffrey, do you have a woman friend hitchhiking to travel around the world, maybe?
Yes, I know. I've met many girls who hitchhike. I've met many girls who ride bicycles on really very, very long distance travel. And many times when I give speeches about these experiences, and I have women who watch, and they ask me this question,
they do it.
as a woman, I know that the words coming from me to you women will not have so much impact. So I prefer usually to recommend you to find some women who did this, because there are many of them, and the words coming from their mouth to you as a woman will have more impact. You will trust more, because I could give you the things that they gave me, they told me about how they managed to travel as women, but the words coming out of my mouth will have less impact on you women. But usually it's through experience, it's through being very clear with the people, it's through finding the right people, it is through having the distance with the man and feeling, and also depending on the places, some women would have the advantage because being more weak, there would be more people who would want to protect. So some women, they would have maybe more luck that I would have as a man. But it's true that there is always a reality that women may be more weak than a man, but also it's a capacity to develop the relation to your inner strengths and how to get out of a bad situations. I've had many friends, female friends, who have been in a start of a bad situation, but very, very quick you have the instinct and you get out and you distance yourself and you. But yeah, it's one of the realities of all of us sometimes getting through violence and how this impacts us. But yeah, as a recommendation, I would tell you, go find some women who did this, and I'm sure you will find, I'm sure you'll be very, very inspired. There are many of them online and they share their journeys and it's very inspiring and you can do it. But what I recommend in terms of doing things is starting small. Maybe the hitchhiking is a very extreme thing. Maybe you can start by doing a bit of more the couch surfing, the fact of staying at someone's place or staying at a friend of a friend or finding an organization, an association that has a link with the things that you like, but is in a different place. So staying in someone's home that is different, but you trust because it's inside the same circle. This can be a great start. And then maybe start some hitchhiking on some small journeys and doing this thing of the active hitchhiking, going to the service station where you kind of see the people and you say hello to the people. And as a woman, you say hello to the women. The other women, you say, well, it's totally crazy what I'm doing. It is the first time I'm doing it, but it's an experimentation I want to do. I want to experiment hitchhiking because I want to see things different and I want to trust in others. And this is my answer.
Yeah, Jojo, it's a good idea. But anyway, Mbak Jovita, sorry, are you a member of Couchsurfing community?
No,
yes.
I want to join the member for sure.
Yeah, yes, please. You have to.
Can
join
you share
this.
the link again? Sorry.
I will.
Okay.
Add
Thank
me
you.
on your profile.
Okay.
Okay, Jojo, we have a question on the chat rooms from Miss Nancy Kacepati, Pati branch office in Central Java. Good afternoon, sir. I was wondering if you might be able to give us some advice to travel better in terms of more eco-friendly. Does bringing a travel size toiletries kit better, or does it contribute to more plastic waste? Okay, it's about eco-adventure.
Congratulations already on having the thoughts that we have the need of being more eco-friendly and having less impact in terms of carbon and other polluting things like plastic. In the more eco-friendly, there is the fact of seeing the travel less as a very, very distant thing. The travel can also be an inner thing. One of the ways to travel inside of you is meditation. And meditation can guide you very, very, very far inside of you and bring you a lot of change in your life. So this is the most minimalistic travel. Then the idea is to avoid, if you want to be eco-friendly, is to avoid taking planes. I know it's complicated in Indonesia where you have so many islands and you're used to
Yes, it's near impossible, I think.
But I would imagine that there are some boats, and boats have a bit of less of an impact. There are the boats with engines, but also you have sailing boats. You have many sailing boats, and it's possible actually to also get rides on boats. I myself crossed the Atlantic Ocean 3 years ago, hitchhiking across the Atlantic Ocean on a sailing boat. And I will do it again. In a few months, I will be hitchhiking across the Atlantic Ocean on a sailing boat. So this is the most eco-friendly thing you can do. Then in terms of plastic, congratulations of understanding the problem of plastic around the world. There is one thing called the zero waste. So the zero waste is a lifestyle of avoiding and reducing as much as possible the plastic in your life. And the way I see it as a way of seeing first what is a necessity and what is a desire. And I call it the plastic motherfuckers method. It is, okay, I see a product that I go do my function of a consumer to the market or something. It comes in a plastic packaging. And then I have to decide, this thing that I want to buy, is it a necessity or is it a desire? And usually I have the example of the chocolate cookies that I like very much. The chocolate cookies, they come in a plastic packaging. I like them very much, but it is a desire. It is not a necessity. I can survive without my chocolate cookie. So when it is a desire, I learn to avoid. If I don't need this thing that comes in plastic, I avoid it. And then I see, for example, I don't know, the potatoes, the rice. This, if I have, this is a necessity that I need to eat, my belly, I will find a solution. And for many, many, many, many things, there are solutions. And usually what you do is you look online, zero waste, this thing, for example, a shampoo or something like this. Now you have some shampoo in bar, you have some toothpaste in bar, you have everything that is made and that comes either without any packaging. Usually what you can find is you have some stores where you can buy loose items. So you can bring your pot and okay, I want this much rice. I take this much rice. Or you can bring your own bag. I take this much rice, you know, and the beans, and you take as much as you want. And this is how you reduce the plastic. Then another step of being eco-friendly is knowing the impact of the meat and fish industry. To eat meat and fish is the highest impact on carbon on Earth. It's even more than a transport. So it's also a process, a journey of learning to reduce and understand and to do some research actually, because if you want and if you start understanding this thing of the world, of the universe, all of this, how it works, it brings your curiosity and it brings your thirst of knowledge, and knowledge is power. So what I highly recommend is always to do more research, is to find online some documentaries that talk about this so that you find and you really understand this. For example, here, I just started talking about the zero waste, but it feels very like, wow, it's very complicated to live out of plastic. And now I tell you that we should reduce eating meat and fish, and it may be something like, wow, it's crazy, I cannot. But if you do some research and if you are open to doing the research and understanding, there will be more arguments, and then you will understand a little bit more, and then you will start making these changes in your life. And the more you do changes, the more it will become natural. So this is an example in terms of more eco-friendly journeys. But then there is also, you can travel by bicycle. Traveling by bicycle is amazing. You can do long distances. You can bring the things you need, and you only depend on yourself. And it's very inner journey also, because it's a very simple life where you will be listening to yourself. What is my body needing? Okay, now I need to drink. Okay, now I need to eat. Okay, now I need to take some rest because my butt is hurting me. So bicycle is wonderful. And then the most and probably one of the best ways of traveling is just walking. Walking is a very deep way. It is a very, spiritual way to get to do a travel. It's probably one of the deepest, because it's also bringing us to the root of being human. It's going to the root of our capacity. Our capacity is going maximum speed to the speed of our feet. So you get connected to this reality. And this brings something very important, is the relation to time and space. How you can reach a place, how much time and how much space will you do just by yourself, your feet, the very basic. And going to the basic is very good. So I think it's a summary of eco-friendly travel and lifestyle. That is very important.
Yeah, and
yes.
Yeah, and in Jakarta and several cities in Indonesia, we start reducing the using of plastic, especially in the supermarket. We are prohibited to bring a plastic bag. So it's now by paper bag.
A good start.
Yeah. And then, does anybody want to ask a question? Maybe we only have 7 minutes.
Hey, Jojo. It was really
question.
great presentation. I really liked it.
Okay.
Derek got a question. Which road should we take when we're going through Europe from Asia? Like you could go through Afghanistan or somewhere like that. Instead, you went through Kazakhstan. So, do you think which road we should take from going from Asia to Europe? Which one is safer?
It's true that now going through Afghanistan is going to be very complicated. So that's why the option I did of crossing the Caspian Sea, maybe if you can get an access through all the Uzbekistan is relaxed as a country, I think. These countries are quite okay, and then through Azerbaijan and Georgia and Turkey, it's perfect. Also, if you can get access to Russia, Russia has the train that goes all across the country. I think it is, if it's possible to live this, it is a very interesting life experience. But I believe in terms of administration, it's quite complicated to get access to Russia. But if you can, it must be a good way to cross the whole country on a train that goes slowly on a gigantic country. And Russia must be very interesting. I've never had the opportunity to go to Russia, but it's one of those countries that I want to explore. I want to also experiment learning the language Russian and document a little bit the life in this country that also has a huge impact on the global politics. So yeah, as an answer, I guess it will be this. And then once you get inside Europe, the most authentic part of Europe, I think, is Eastern Europe. But then you have also, I think it's important in terms of history and culture to come visit France and Spain and Italy and Germany and England. Now is a bit complicated since Brexit. But it makes it easier with the language because many countries of Europe, especially the more Latin countries, they don't speak too much English. In France, we are very bad. In Spain, they're very bad. In Italy, they're very bad. But usually all Northern Europe and England, they're very good in English. But Northern Europe is very cold. Here you have all the details.
Yeah, it's also my question, Jojo. Why didn't you choose Mongolia and Russia to go through the Europe, to enter Europe?
Like I told you at the start of the presentation, where was it? In terms of visa, I had to do a visa to go to.
Okay.
Yes, and I wanted to avoid the things of administration, having to go to the embassy and all of this. It made it easier to arrive in a country, and it was this slide. So here, Mongolia, Russia is red, which means that I have to go to the embassy and ask for a visa and pay and all of this. Whereas going to Kazakhstan for me was free, and Azerbaijan and Georgia and Turkey and Europe as well.
And it is much more difficult for Indonesian visa, Indonesian passport, I mean. We are very difficult to enter those countries because the French power of visa of passport is stronger maybe than Indonesian passport. You can enter so much countries, but we have to need visa, maybe just to enter some Europes and a part of Asia.
But
okay, anybody?
Search, I'd be curious to hear, maybe after this presentation, if some of you would do some research of knowing if there are ways to sail around Indonesia. This would be very interesting because actually you have to know that people who have a sailing boat, they are very happy to have people on boat, usually to help or to be a company, or to help with cooking, to help with being there at night. Because usually when we sail across night, we have to always have someone watching. This is why if we are alone, you cannot sleep. So that's why they are looking for people to build a crew so that there will be someone watching, we call it doing watch, watching during the night for 3 hours when they are sleeping, and then you go to sleep and then come someone else and then come someone else. Because you have to always watch, for example, if there is another boat crossing or if there is a change of wind, and this is how it works. And sailing is a very interesting experience.
Yeah, we'd love to, but we only have 12 days off in a year. So I think it's impossible to do that. We have so much time. Yeah, we'd love to. Anybody?
All right, maybe I want some questions to Jojo.
Yeah.
Hello.
Who's speaking? Sorry.
Dini.
Hello, Dini.
Oh, Mbak Dini from Sampit. Yeah.
Yes.
Jojo has ever gone to Sampit. He stay.
Yeah, I would like to invite you, Jojo.
Yeah,
Sorry,
he
I
stayed in
can't.
my dormitory in Sampit in 2016, right, Jojo?
Yes.
Yeah, you went to Indonesia in 2016. Yeah, go on, Mbak Dini.
All right. First, I would like to say sorry because I can't turn on the camera because of the bad signal here. It's so unlucky. Okay. First of all, thank you, Jojo, for the very great presentation. It's very gold. I would like to say my gratitude for telling your traveling story. It almost hit me, like I almost got teared. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. It was deep and meaningful and full of emotions. I almost cry when you showed some of the pictures. That was a really great picture. I wonder, oh, you really have a talent in photography.
Thank you.
And I learned so many things in your presentation that traveling is not about only travel or move to one place to another place, but we got the lesson from it. Like we meet many people. We have the connection with the other human and about the humanity. It was very great for me, and I'm so lucky to have this join this session tonight. Thank you very much, Jojo. And maybe I would like to ask you about what is your one of very memorable experience and the motivation, your motivation. I've heard you told us like you have the up and down phase, like you make people and they reject you when you want to hitchhiking, right? And you feel sad about that, but you come back again and go travel again. What is the courage? Where you got the courage to? Oh, I got this. I got to travel again. Maybe that's all. Thank you.
So how the courage came to me of traveling? I don't know. The courage doesn't come like this. It is a process. It comes through experience. It's by the fact that I started and I didn't have so much fear of going abroad when I started doing this journey around Europe. It was a start. It was small. I was not going far. I was close to home. If I had a health issue, there was no problem. I could return home. So I started small.
Mm-hmm.
And this is by doing this. And after I discovered the couch surfing, like I said, which made me comfortable being in someone else's house and being a good guest and making people happy of having me in their home and exchanging on this. And then I discovered the active hitchhiking. This is how the courage grew because I lived it. I experimented it. And then it's true that, like I said, to face a little bit and get out of this comfort zone of going to a very different place. It's the thing of the emotion. It is what I call the roller coaster of the emotion. You go up and you go down, and you go up and you go down. And this is what you feel alive. You may feel your heart beating, and you can cry from happy emotions, or you can cry from sad emotions. But this is part of life. We have the both realities, and this is very important, I think, in life to document, to get to know the reality of what is happening on Earth in terms of the tough things, to be conscious, and then to also know the good things happening in life, to do the both, to have the balance. This is the same for my work as a documentary photographer. I like to sometimes show the bad things, to denounce, and then show the solutions, show the beauty, to make people remain positive. And I think it's important every time you wake up in the morning, hope, positive, always. I hope it answers your question.
Okay, thank you for the answer. This was really amazing to
So,
hear
Badini,
yeah?
when will you start your journey?
Oh, as soon as possible.
Wow, as soon as possible.
Based on what you just said, start small and the courage will grow up.
Yeah, maybe you can start from going to Ujung Pandaran Beach.
Oh yeah, I go there like every month, maybe.
Okay, it's enough for you. Yes, Jojo.
Just share your ideas of your thoughts. You can share it with them. Oh, I have this idea of doing this. Oh, it's a good one. Go for it. And as you get used to having ideas, the ideas will come, and you will be more inspired, and you'll leave your things. And maybe this will, by letting these ideas come to you, maybe this will transform your life, because now our brain is made as it is, but maybe it can transform itself by just meeting someone different, and then poof, everything will change in your life. You will want to have another job. You will want to do something completely different, but maybe to you, this will make more sense.
Yeah, Jojo, maybe I'd like to add some comment, like traveling is not about moving to one to another place, but finding our true self too, right? Finding ourselves.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Definitely right.
Is what you get through as you have a kind of an aim. Usually you have a main aim, but what is the real interest is what gets you through there, and it's what you will meet and the people who will meet through this, and this will make your life interesting.
Yeah, thank you.
Others. This is very, very important, what you bring to others, what you will give of yourself, what you make people feel by your presence, how you will be good to others. And this you can do it in your life, in the daily life. You don't have to be on a journey. It can be every day, just smiling at someone, helping someone by doing something. It's normal.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Dini, and also thank you, Jojo. I wish I had much more time, because this topic is very, very interesting to discuss.
I did my best to make it fit inside 1 hour, and to have enough content of all the things I wanted to share, and some images, because images are important to me. I hope it was good.
Maybe maybe we need another session, maybe, Mas Daldi. Okay, thank you so much to our speaker, Jojo. Once again, merci beaucoup. And then thank you for Duta BPJS Kesehatan.
I'm on Instagram. You can send a message. We can continue. I'm on Facebook. You can contact me. I'll be very happy to answer. And keep the connection.
Okay, and Instagram. Yeah. And then thank you so much for the audience here, international friends. Thank you. But before we off the meeting, maybe we can take a picture first. Okay. Everybody here can open their camera, and then we will take a picture. Okay, first picture. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, once again, everybody opens your camera, okay? Yeah, open camera. Okay, second photo. 1, 2, 3. Okay, got it, Mas Zaldi? Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much,
See
Jojo.
another
Wonderful.
session. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bye-bye,
Jojo.
Thank you, Berdan. Thank you,
See you next
Vinicius.
time.